Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering Charlotte's business scene. Real stories, real entrepreneurs, right here in the Queen City. Today, I'm here with Kara Perrault with Snooze Mattress, and we're really excited to have you on, Kara. Let's start at Chapter 1. How did you find your way to Charlotte, to the Queen City?
So I grew up in Charlotte. We moved here when I was 6 years old. So I grew up in the Concord area and am now getting to know Lake Norman.
Awesome. So I feel like I just learned this. That technically makes you a unicorn. Is that what they call them? Like if you've been here for high school, that's what qualifies you?
Right. Everyone moves here afterwards. So
right.
It's a once in a blue moon that you find someone from here.
Okay. All right. So tell me about that. I mean, I'm sure prior to 6 years old, you probably don't have a whole lot of information for us, but after 6 years old, to before you kind of got into your professional life, what did life look like for you? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Definitely. So when we moved here, we realized there were no Jimmy John's, and that was our favorite sandwich. So in 2007, my family opened the first Jimmy John's in Charlotte. So since then, we've been growing that business and have slowly grown year by year, and now we have 22 open stores. So small business runs in my blood, and that's what we've been doing since then.
Awesome. So when you're not planting Jimmy John's and working, what do you find yourself doing? Like, what do you like to do in your free time? Like what's life like for you outside of work?
Yeah, I love the outdoor rec scene. So I love running and biking, and Charlotte just has a great active community. So that's really what I love to do in this area. And I just moved last year to the Kannapolis area. The downtown is booming. And so my roommates and I will go out and just be with all the people out there. It's awesome.
So are you more of a city person or more of like you like to keep your distance?
I love a small town for sure. Yeah, I don't think I could ever live in the city.
Yeah, I'm coming from Miami. It's like not big enough for me. But no, I definitely like, now that I own my own house, I like having a little bit of space. So I can appreciate that. So tell me about you kind of getting into this world. You mentioned your parents kind of planting a few Jimmy John's here in the Charlotte area. What was your journey to Snooze Mattress? Was it just, hey, I have a dream and it's to be a part of this mattress store? Like how did that journey take place?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I found myself here. Actually, I've never been, interested in mattresses, but here we are. I actually studied criminal justice in college. And so this is a totally different
hand in hand with
line
mattresses,
of work,
right?
Definitely.
But
after college, I went on 2 long-term mission trips. And when I got back, I was just looking for a job, and my parents were opening Snooze. And they were like, hey, would you like to run this for us and get it off the ground while, you need a job and we need someone to run this store? And so, I'm always up for an adventure. So I committed to do it with them. And I love family business. It's what I grew up in. So I was like, wow, if there's any opportunity to get to help my parents build this business, I'm in. So, that's how we got into it. We had that space, and we were looking for a tenant for the actual, building itself. And we were like, well, what if we could open something that adds value to Lake Norman and see it grow? So that's how we landed with Snooze. It's an amazing franchise. It's a really booming brand that brings like a different perspective to the mattress industry. So I found myself really enjoying like the health and wellness aspect and getting to connect with people, of all different backgrounds who, everyone sleeps, everyone needs a mattress. So you get to meet a lot of cool people.
So those mission trips, was that with was that the World Race Adventures and Missions? Okay,
it was,
my sister did that.
No way.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
When I heard that you'd done a couple long-term ones, I'm like, I wonder if that was the World Race.
It was, sure was.
How was that experience? Has it made you? I know there's obviously the missions aspect. What about the travel aspect? Is that kind of like stuck with you? Because now she just like wants to travel all the time.
Yeah, it's amazing. I find myself like, where can I book a flight to next? But no, I loved it. It shaped who I am, and I love culture. I love meeting people from all over. I love language. I found myself like obsessed with like learning new things and meeting new people. And so, it was an invaluable experience. It shaped the way that I connect with people in my store, with people in the community, and it was amazing.
Awesome. So you're now at this point where you've started Snooze. You and your family have started it. What were the earlier phases of that? I guess you're still kind of in the earlier phases, but what has that been like? What are some of the things, I guess, for you in jumping into an industry like this that you were like, I wasn't expecting it to be like this, and you've had to what are some of the challenges that came with that?
Yeah, it's definitely been a grind. There's so much hard work behind the scenes in small business that so many people, don't don't have to walk through, but it's crazy. But so we're coming up on our 1 year. So we're still in like the infant phases of our business, but it's been so much to learn when it comes to not just running a business, but mattresses and the world of sleep. We had to start at ground zero and learn it all. Thankfully, my parents, starting a small business already, knew a lot of like the basics of business. So I've been learning a lot, and they have, trusted me to do all these things. Like I now have learned how to do SEO and how to do marketing and figure out what works and what doesn't. And definitely getting more comfortable with getting our story out there. I never realized how much an impact networking would be and getting out in the community, but that has really impacted our business. So I try to plan about an event a month in our store, and I go to things around town just to get to meet people, because people want to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. And I didn't realize, how much effort it would take to get to know people, but I love that. I'm in it for the people, so it's been really fun.
I was at one of your events. It may or not have been because there's pizza there.
Exactly.
But it was good. And it was a lot of fun.
Anything we can do to get people in,
So what has it looked like? I know you mentioned the events and you mentioned networking. What have been some of the strategies that you guys have gone through in order to get clients? I mean, in order to get in front of people, I feel like this is the first challenge most people face is, well, I've got this idea or I've got this product. Right. I think it would work for people. Now, how do I get people to it, or how do I get it to people? How is that? What are some of the strategies you guys have been partaking in?
It's been a lot of trial and error. We did some OTT and TV ads, and those didn't do well for us. They weren't local enough. People want to connect, and so we switched strategies. We've loved some lakeside living like magazines in the area. I feel like that's been really helpful for us. People love print ads. And then also just the actual going to events and meeting people and telling them about Snooze has been really helpful. I think I'm trying to think of other things that have been really good.
Well, I mean, you guys are young in this, so you're probably still
just
in that
learning.
phase of figuring it out. And,
Exactly.
and it sounds like you've already kind of crossed out a few things of saying, hey, we've tried this. We didn't yield a whole lot of results, so we're going to move on to the next thing. And that's what the early phase is a lot of. You see, so I've owned my company for a little over 7 years now. And there's some really big blessings that come with, things being a little more sustained and having made important relationships and connections.
Right.
And then there's also the side of me that's like, man, those early years were fun because we were figuring it out,
You don't know what you're doing.
That's right. That's right. There's a charm in that. So what does the process look like when somebody is interested in one of your products or I guess is interested in checking out mattresses? Is it just a week they kind of stroll in and that's how it works? Do people call and set up appointments? Like how does the process look like for you guys?
We have both, actually. So a lot of times we'll have people just walk in, but we also have Dream Map appointments that people can register for online, and that just lets us know that they're coming to the area and that we can prepare for that appointment. We love when people walk in, but it's also nice to get to plan ahead. So honestly, I love when people book appointments, but we try to take people through, a personalized sleep journey to find their right mattress. So people really should plan to have about an hour or so in the store. We have some people come stop in on their lunch breaks, but you really can't test a mattress out in 5 minutes. So it's nice to have that time to get to walk people through the process.
So I know I saw a little bit of this when I went to your event. You kind of going through that sleep something journey. You just mentioned it. What is that? What do you guys do with people?
Yeah. So dream mapping is a pressure mapping technology. It's trusted also by Google, NASA, and the Mayo Clinic. They use the same X sensor pressure map in their own technology and how they fit people for their products. And so we've brought that to the sleep industry. So what it does is based on your sleep position and the pressure distribution of your body, it recommends a level of comfort and support that you would need in a mattress. So then the snooze coaches, we know exactly what mattresses provide what support and comfort levels. So instead of laying on 30 mattresses in the store, you just lay on the few that we know fit your body's needs. And we really don't show them based on preference. We show people 3 different types of mattresses so that they can choose based on their comfort preference. But it eliminates the confusion and the dread of mattress shopping because it makes it fun. It makes it easy to digest all the information. And then you buy with confidence because you know that it's actually a good fit for you.
And so the branding that you guys have gone with is really interesting. So this is your I guess your company attire. This is what you wear on a daily basis. And you also just refer to yourself as a snooze coach. What was the idea behind making that the direction of just how to brand yourself rather than just saying, hey, I'm here to sell you mattresses?
Yeah, well, mattress shopping is typically, dreadful. It's second to used car sales. Like nobody wants to go mattress shopping. And so Snooze, as a brand, has decided to change the industry and to elevate it. They really believe that high tides raise all the boats. So if we get better, so will the other mattress stores. And so one of our core values is that we're pillow fighters. Like we want to have fun. We want it to be a fun experience. So we wear our Snooze Blues because it represents just our lighthearted approach. I think you immediately walk in the door and you're disarmed as a customer because someone's in pajamas. No one's greeting you in their nice suit. You're being greeted in pajamas and with a smile. So you just know that you can be at ease in your mattress shopping journey. So I think it's a genius, way to kind of brand ourselves and to make it, a place that people want to go. So
sure.
All credit to corporate for that one.
So for you, have you gone through that whole, have you taken sorry, I keep forgetting, Snooze dream mapping? Like, and was it just like, hey, you're doing it all wrong? Like you got to fix everything.
I mean, I did go through it and I was surprised, by the way that it shows you different results. And then also like you get custom fit for a pillow and I didn't realize how much difference a pillow made too.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, I think
do you sleep,
awesome.
Is like your sleeping situation just like top of the line because you're just like, you get all the fancy new stuff?
No, for sure. Yeah. Now I sleep on a Tempur-Pedic and I could never go back.
So in your time working at Snooze, and again, I know it's been short, but if somebody else was wanting to kind of take that step out into doing their own thing, what's a piece of advice you'd give them and just to kind of prep for maybe the difference between working for somebody else and then working for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say that the biggest thing has been like having an open mind to new things that you didn't expect. Like, I had different ideas coming into it of how we could be successful. And some of those have worked and some haven't, and we've had to pivot. So I think having like an open heart to do whatever. But the other thing I would say is really taking responsibility and ownership for your business and your, own efforts makes a huge difference because I've seen franchisees who aren't doing well, and you can blame it on, the brand, or you could blame it on your location or whatever it is, but ultimately it comes down to us and what we're willing to do to make our businesses successful. And so I would just say, like, for anyone who's going to start a business or who's branching out, like, just be willing to put in the hard work and take ownership. And I think you'll see a lot more results that way.
Yeah, I feel like one of the best pieces of advice I got when I was starting this was from a mentor I had, who's my brother-in-law. He started several companies, and it was right around that 1 to 2 year mark, and things were up and down. They weren't very consistent, and it was just him constantly saying, "This is just the way it goes." Like and I just needed that reassurance. I needed somebody to tell me like that who had done it well, say that's okay. Like, and because I'd panic and I'd be like, "This is bad, right? We should just drop everything, right?" And he's like, "You still believe in this? This is just the way it goes."
Yes.
And so it was just super helpful because then you were able to push through that. And
if everyone else is telling you like the first couple years are hard, like, then you're like, okay, well, then I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
But if you think you're going to be successful off the bat, then, it can feel discouraging for sure.
So what's your favorite part? I mean, obviously it's a wide range of things that you do. As far as I'm sure there's some sales involved. There's some marketing. There's actually interacting with the clients. There's getting to know the mattresses better. What's your favorite part about this? What do you love most about what you get to do?
It's definitely the people, whether that's like people I meet in town or the people who come in my door. I mean, I love administration. I'm good at it, but I'd way rather be having a conversation with someone. So I love the people. I love that, I've never done sales before, and this is a sales job, but it doesn't feel like that. And we're not there to give high pressure sales. We make a friend before anything. So I love the connections I've gotten to make, and I've just had so many random and crazy conversations in my store while people are on mattresses. So I definitely love that.
What's a wild story that you have involving mattress sales? Has it been long enough that you have any wild stories to tell, or has it not been that weird?
I mean, I feel like things are always crazy. You can never know what to expect. I mean, people come in and it's like they treat it like therapy. Like couples will come in and they'll tell you everything, and it's just so funny to see how people open up. And I've even had people come in the store who are going through a tough time and they just need someone to talk and to get to talk with them and even sometimes pray for them has just been like such a sweet thing that I didn't expect. So I definitely love that. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. And so it sounds like the networking side of things is big for you guys with the events that you run and with how involved you said you've been in just getting to know people in town and growing that. What has the networking aspect been like for you? Has that been a big skill that you've had to learn? Has that been, I mean, obviously coming from not being in that world, it can seem pretty daunting. I'm a very outgoing social person, and those environments were like my least favorite when I first started because I'm like, this feels unauthentic, and I've got to go around and be like, this is what I do, and this is here's my business card, and but I slowly grew in that area. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, I think for me, like, have you read How to Win Friends and Influence People?
I've read the title. I know the book, but
it's a crazy book.
I've not read the book.
Yeah, it's so good. You got to put it on your list. But one of the things he says is like the sweetest words to someone's ears is their name. Like people just want to like know that you like see them and you know them. And so like when I go into those spaces, like my first care is like knowing the people I'm talking to. So I'd rather like know your name and know what you do than share about my business because it's going to come back around, eventually. And so I think that's my posture when I go into those rooms is like, okay, I don't have to feel pressure to like tell 10 people and get 3 sales out of this. Like that's going to come with time. But like going into those spaces and just seeing like how I can know the people there is my like strategy. But I think also like, I'm pretty outgoing, but whomever you are, if you walk into those spaces, it can feel like daunting to just go up and start a conversation. But I just remind myself, like, everybody feels that way. And if everyone was like waiting for someone to approach them, we wouldn't get anywhere. So I'm going to be the one to just like swallow my fear and just walk up and introduce myself. And I feel like I've made so many friends. And then people also feel like, the welcoming culture is just built when you can operate that way. So
sure. I was just talking to somebody who had asked some advice, and I said the biggest thing to know is that everybody feels that way.
Yeah, everyone does.
And as soon as you know that, it should give you some confidence.
Yeah,
right?
If you think you're the only one who feels that way,
they're all struggling.
Right, exactly.
So if I were to walk into a different mattress store, or let's say I walked into Snooze, what's something that I might find there that I don't think I would find at other mattress places?
Aside from our dream mapping technology, which I already shared about, I think that, you're going to walk in and you'll see a beautiful showroom. It feels like, a luxury car showroom. Like it's beautiful. It's clean. You're greeted in pajamas and with a smile. So you're going to get that personal touch. We never sit at the desk and say, let me know if you need anything. Like we're right there with you the whole step of the way. So that's a huge thing that makes Snooze different. But you're also gonna see a lot of the premium brands that you find in other places, but we have like such a range of products that we can find a bed for every budget. So one thing I make sure people know is like, you're going to get a premium experience no matter who you are and no matter what your budget is. But we can find something that works for you.
Awesome. Are they comfortable to actually sleep in, or is it just like it's just for show?
Just for show.
Okay.
For sure.
I had to ask. Kara, thank you so much for giving us some time and coming on the show. If people wanted to reach out and find you or find Snooze, how would they go and do that?
Our Instagram is Snooze Mattress Cornelius, and you can also find us through our Snooze website, or you can give us a call.
Awesome. And I'm Greg Prinz, host of the Chapter 1 podcast. You can find us on Spotify, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Links below, links in the description. And until next time, this is the Chapter 1 podcast.